Hi everyone, how are you? So today we're going to work on legs, and it would be nice if you had a strap. We'll use the strap later. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. You can do those poses without the strap. So just let's talk about the legs for a minute. There's a lot of poses that work on the legs. So we have obviously feet and ankles. And then in the legs itself, 4 muscles here, quadriceps. In the back, you have your calf muscles, of course, and then hamstrings from the middle of your knee all the way running up into your buttocks. On the sides, you have all muscles that are called the abductors. Includes the IT band. And on the inner thighs, you have what are called the adductors. So all of these muscles here work when you move forward. So they're very important. We don't realize how important, but that is how we are able to walk. All right? So take a deep breath, reach way out and up. Nice stretch, clasp your hands together, turn your palms inside out. No matter what part of the body we're working on in our practice, we always want to warm up the back first. All right, so a little bend in your knees and then a nice big circle on the ceiling with your palms. And you can get your knees and your hips involved in this. Change direction and just loosen up a little. And come back to center. Release your hands slowly down. Reach for the side walls. Open your chest. Roll your shoulders back and down and come to center. So let's start with the rotational function of your spine. Bring your hands forward, stand nice and tall, mountain pose, and then follow your left arm around behind you. Just turn and look at your fingertips. From the waist down, you stay stable. From the waist up, you twist. And come on back. And then follow your right arm around. So remember, your hips are staying where they are. Those hip bones, protuberances, are facing forward. And you're attempting to turn just from your waist. Now, if you press down into your feet and you rise up to become a little bit taller, notice the space you created between your ribs and your hips, right in here. Use that for your twist. So these bones, remember, stay facing forward. But you've got that extra space now. And use that for your twist. That's right where your twist occurs. So this is turning your spine in a rotational manner, but twisting is also good for digestion. Come on back and then follow the right one around. One more time. And come together. Clasp your hands. Turn them inside out. Press them toward me. Swing them up to the ceiling and then lean over to the left. Lateral function of the spine. Come to center and over to the right. And then up to the left again. And over to the right. And back to center. Open your arms again. Reach way out and down. Take a little empty coat sleeves twist. Let your arms swing and propel you. And then let's do the arching and rounding of the back. So open your arms wide, thumbs facing up. Let the back of your hands come toward each other. Move your hips forward and create an arch. Look up. Stretch through your throat. And then with a little bend in your knees, hug yourself and tuck your chin in. Round your back. Again, open wide, big inhale. Exhale, hug. Big inhale. And exhale, hug. And drop your arms to your sides. So that's a little warm up for the back. You might want to do it a little bit longer, maybe repeat it. Let's start on our legs. Let's breathe a little bit. So a little bit different exercise for breath. Arms at your sides, take an inhale. Exhale, lift your arms to shoulder height. So we usually do the opposite. We usually inhale, arms up. So we're shaking things up a little. Lower down. Inhale. Exhale, up. Inhale, down. Exhale, up. And inhale, right here. Exhale, crisscross. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, crisscross the other way. Open wide on the inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Drop your arms. So, standing in your mountain pose, let's start with our feet. Not a lot of poses for our feet because it's important that we do strengthen the muscles around the ankles. So, standing in mountain pose, close your eyes. Now, just think about the bottom of your feet. Think about where you're standing. We all have a tendency to move forward, to lean onto the toes. The toes are not meant for leaning on, they're just for balance. So just move your weight back. Resist that tendency to lean forward. And notice if you are balanced between the ball of your foot and the heel. The inner toe mound, the outer toe mound, and the inner heel and the outer heel. The entire surface of your foot is touching the mat. Just the arch is not. And the toes are just resting on the mat. Now open your eyes. Lift your toes up and spread them wide. And then lower them. And lift them up, spread them wide, and lower. And again, lift up, spread, and lower. Now, keeping your feet just about where they are in hip distance apart, so here's your hips, those little protuberances. Roll to the inner edge of your foot and then the outer edge. You're rolling across the bottom of your foot. And just keep doing that until you feel a little fatigue in those muscles. It doesn't take too long for that to happen. And just go a little bit beyond that so that we know that we've worked those muscles. Keep breathing nice and steady. Long, slow inhales, long, slow exhales. And come back to center. Lift your arms, lift up onto the balls of your feet. Just see how long you can hold that, a little bit more for the feet. Getting your toes to work a little. It's okay to shake a little. And lower down. Take a big inhale and fold halfway forward. So this is also called standing staff pose. Your body is in an L shape. Your hands are on your thighs, and you're going to push your thighs back. Your legs are straight. Your belly is tight. You're pulling your belly up to your spine. As your buttocks reach back, the top of your head reaches forward. Just feel that stretch in the back of your legs. Definitely in the calf muscles, definitely in the hamstrings. Hold. And slowly come up. Press down into your feet. Lift your arms back to mountain pose. Nice tight core. Tailbone is tucked under just slightly. Little bit of give in your knees. Your shoulders right over your hips. Your chin parallel with the earth. Now we're going to go to full forward fold. So take a big inhale and dive forward. Just let your head dangle. Let your hands come to the back of your ankles. Let your chest come a little closer to your thighs. And just feel that stretch. So now you've got the stretch in the back of your legs again, but also in your lower back. And your neck is released. Your head is heavy, pulling on the muscles of your neck, pulling on the muscles of your lower back. Definitely stretching the muscles in your legs. And then come on up to halfway again. Press your thighs back. And slowly to mountain pose. Take a half step back with your right foot. Toes are pointing forward. And you can have your feet separated as if they were on railroad tracks rather than on a tightrope. Take a big inhale. Exhale. Dive forward. One hand on either side of your left foot. Your head is dangling again. Pyramid pose. So let the weight fall into your heels, and especially your left heel. Notice the stretch in the back of your left leg. If you want to intensify that stretch a little, come onto your heel. And breathe. Lay your toes down, walk your right foot forward, and slowly come up. Big inhale, and an exhale, dive forward again. Step your left foot halfway back. Let your weight fall into your heels, especially the right one this time. Walk your hands back to either side of that foot. And then just fold a little bit deeper, chest toward thigh. If you want, lift your toes, ball of your foot, come onto your heel. And breathe. And then come forward, left foot comes up to meet the right. Dangle here. Let your hands come to opposite elbows. And just sway your hips from side to side. If you want to bend one knee and then switch to the other, that's an option. Really feeling that stretch in the back of your legs. And then release your elbows and stack your vertebrae one on top of another until you're back to your mountain pose. Now coming to chair pose. Lift your arms, bring your hands to prayer. So in chair, I like feet hip distance apart and knees same distance apart. But you can also do chair with your feet and your knees next to each other. So you pick. It's up to you. Take a breath, bend your knees. Sink down. Let your buttocks reach back for that little chair behind you. Keep your shoulders lifted and keep your gaze somewhat forward. And breathe. So, of course, the longer you hold the chair pose, the more those quadriceps, the muscles on top of your thighs, have to work. Press down into your feet and slowly come up. Lift your arms. Take a stretch. Maybe lean over to the right and over to the left. And come on back and sink down into chair again. This time, take a twist to the right. So your hands are together, your heels are pressing into each other. You bring your hands in close to your chest. Use your left elbow pressing down into your knee to turn you. Twist you a little bit more and look over your right shoulder. Now your knees are lined up with each other. Just be aware of that. Come back to center, press down into your feet, slowly rise up. Take a breath. Lean again, left and right. Bring your hands down. One more time, chair. This time take a twist over to the left. Same thing on this side. Your knees are even. Your heels are pressing into each other, the heels of your hands. Your right elbow is pressing down into your knee to help you turn, looking over your left shoulder. Come back to center. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Straighten your legs and breathe. Slowly come up. Lift your shoulders and roll them back. Now here's one for your legs that combines a little bit of balance. And maybe some days you're not, or some mornings you're not quite up to chair. So maybe this one is a good alternative. Shift your weight into your left leg. Let that leg be nice and strong. Be confident in the strength of it. Lift your right knee. Extend your leg and just hold it. Flex the ankle. Anything you want to do with your arms for balance is fine. Now you need a nice tight core here. Always in balance. You need a core to support you. Shoulders over hips. Chin right. Balanced. Parallel with the earth. And your head right on top of your spine. And lower down. Now shift your weight into your right leg. Let's do that on the left side. Lift the knee, extend the leg. Hold and breathe. Flex your ankle. Remember the tight core. And come on down. Take a breath. Shift your weight to your left leg again. Lift your right knee. Flex your ankle. And this time slowly swing that leg. So notice if you're doing this slowly, these muscles are working. Nice and slow. Step down. Shift your weight to your right leg. Lift your left knee. Flex your ankle. Same thing here. Nice and slow. And back. Now, if this is your only pose that you're working on for your legs today, just maybe do it a few more times. Take a breath. Lift your arms. Big inhale and exhale. Turn sideways on your mat and take a wide stance. Let your toes point to the corners of the mat. Now, think about your shoulders touching a wall behind you, as if you were against a wall, and the back of your head is touching that wall also. Now, just slide down that wall. Take a peek at your knees and your ankles. You want your knees to be directly above your ankles. So if they're not, make an adjustment for that, and then come back with your shoulders against the wall and your head. Sink down and pulse a few times. And then come up. Straighten your legs. Slide down that wall again. Left knee is going to glide over the left toes, and then the right knee over the right toes. Back to the left, and to the right, and left, and right. Back to center, sink a little lower, pulse, and come up. Slide down again. Lift your left heel. Lift your right. Lift your left. Lift right. Maybe lift both. Lower down, sink a little deeper, pulse a few times, and come up. I'm sure you're really feeling that in your thighs. Between goddess and chair, that's very good work for the thighs. Slide down that wall again. Left hand stays on your thigh. Right arm comes up and over and reaches for the side wall. And then switch. And come back to the left again. Reaching and come to the right. Reach and come left. And come right. Come back and sink. Come up. Last time. Bring your arms to cactus arms. Slide down the wall. Slide a little deeper. Slide a little deeper and pulse. And then take a twist to the left. Twist to the right. Twist left. Twist right. Come back. Sink again. And come up. Heel toe your feet back together. And take a breath. Those thighs may be talking to you. So come on down onto your knees. And after this pose, I'm going to move the camera because we're going to come down onto the mat. So extend your left leg out. Let your left hand come onto that thigh. Flex that ankle. Lift your your left arm up and over and reach and hold that. Nice stretch for the inner thigh, but also a nice stretch for the left side body. From your hip right up to your fingertips. Cartwheel that hand to the floor. Let your right hand come to your waist. Flexed ankle, lift and pulse. This is gate pose. And then lower that leg, bring your knee next to the other one, come back to your kneeling mountain pose. Extend your left leg. Flex the ankle. Left hand slides down. Right arm comes up and over. Feel the stretch. You can press a little. Don't press on your knee. Press on your thigh. Cartwheel that hand to the mat. Bring your left hand to your waist. Lift your left leg and pulse it a few times. Feel this in those muscles. Right there in the upper thigh. Bring that knee back. Sit down in hero pose and take a few breaths while I move the camera. out on your right hip, on your right side. Bring your legs together, stack your knees, support your head, and your left hand is in front of your chest with the fingers spread. If you don't like how this feels on your neck, you can collapse your arm and just let your head rest on the folded arm. Pick what your body is telling you is right for you. Then bend your bottom knee, just for a little more stability. Knees are still stacked though. Flex your left ankle. Take a breath. Exhale, lift that leg up and pulse a few times at the top. Getting into that group of muscles right there again. And lower down. Breathe. Exhale, lift up again. Flexed ankle and you're pulsing, your toes are pointed forward. And slowly come down. Take a breath, and last time, up and pulse. And lower down. Now turn your toes so your toes are pointing upward. Take a breath. Exhale, lift your leg. Different range of motion now, different muscles. Keep turning your toes out to the side and stay on your hip. Don't fall back onto your buttocks. Breathe. If you want, you can bring your hand around the back, pull that leg in a little closer, or you can just let your muscles do all the work. And lower down. Let's do that again. Turn the toes up, lift your leg, turn your toes again, push your heel into the ceiling, let your toes come down toward your waist, and hold and breathe. And slowly lower down. Straighten that bottom leg. Collapse your arm. Now this is not for your legs, this is really for your back. But just let's add this in because it is part of this pose. So press down into your hand and your hip and lift both legs up off the floor and just hold. This is good for your core too. Lower your legs, bend your knees into your chest, roll onto your back. And just make some circles with both knees in one direction and then in the other direction to give your back a little massage. And then stretch out your legs and roll over onto your other hip. Same thing here. Support your head if you want, or collapse it. Your right hand is in front of your chest. Your bottom leg bends and your right ankle flexes. Take a breath. Exhale, come up and pulse. Come right to your edge, wherever that is. You're going to get the benefits in these muscles if you come to your edge. Lower down. Breathe. Exhale, up again and pulse. Flexed ankle and come down. And one more. Come on up and pulse. Hold there. Let those muscles really work. So we're stretching and strengthening. Come on down. Turn your toes upward. Lift your leg. Maybe your hand behind your knee pulls that leg in a little bit. Ankle is flexed. Hold and breathe. And slowly lower down. Take a breath. One more time for that position. Turn your toes out, lift your leg. Turn your toes more. Push your heel into the ceiling and let your toes come down toward your waist. and then lower down. Collapse your arm, press down into your hip, straighten both legs, knees together, ankles together, and lift. And hold. And breathe. And lower down, bring your knees up into your chest, roll onto your back again, and give your lower back a little massage. And then stretch out on your back again. I have to give myself a little more room. Keep your strap handy if you have it. Roll down onto your back. Lift your legs straight up to the ceiling. Flex your ankles. Open to a wide, wide V. You can turn your toes out so that it's your toes that are pointing down toward the floor. Bring your hands to the inside of your knees and apply a little weight. So you're really getting a nice inner thigh stretch. And then come together, bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor. You're going to come into bridge. So tuck your shoulder blades under. Walk your heels back toward your buttocks. Press down into your feet and your upper arms. And lift your hips up. You can let your arms come overhead for a nice stretch. Now, why does this have anything to do with the legs? Because you're going to push your knees forward as you squeeze your buttocks and lift your tailbone a little bit higher, and you're going to feel that stretch in those quadricep muscles. If you prefer, you can bring your elbows to the floor, in close to your body, with the fingertips pointing up. But keep those knees pressing forward. Let your chest round back to your chin. Nice opening for the front body too. Everything is long and stretched. Lift a little bit higher, push those knees forward a little bit more, and then slowly come down. And just windshield wiper back and forth. Then grab your strap. Stretch your left leg out, bring your right knee up. Put the strap around the bottom of your right foot, right across the ball of your foot. And then straighten your leg straight to the ceiling, flexed ankle. Take hold of the ends of the strap in your right hand and just sway that leg back and forth from side to side. Can get a little bit wider each time, greater range of motion. And then come back to center. Take one side in each hand and pull that leg in closer. Keep your ankle flexed. You can feel that stretch in the calf muscle and down in the hamstrings. Push your heel up to the ceiling and your toes down. And then release. Take the straps in your right hand again. Lower your leg all the way down as far as you can toward the floor. And then, when you come to your edge, pull your toes up towards your shoulder. So you're really getting an inner thigh stretch. And you're keeping that strap nice and taut. Swing your leg back to vertical. Turn the toes out again. And come down. A little bit different Changing the muscles, changing the location of the stretch. Come up, switch hands. Now let your leg go across your body all the way over to the left. Keep your shoulder on the floor. Your hip comes up, your right hip comes up, you roll towards your left hip, flex your ankle, and then pull your toes a little closer to your shoulders. Getting a super stretch for the outer thigh. Swing that leg back up. Take the strap again with one hand on each side and pull your leg in. Keep your legs straight, flex your ankle, toes down, heels up, heel up. And then release. Bend your knee, take your strap away, and just circle your knee a few times. And then stretch it out. Notice how that leg feels. Might feel like it's a little bit longer. Bring your left knee in and put the strap around the bottom of your foot. Lift your leg straight up, vertical. Take the strap in your left hand and just sway your leg back and forth. Getting a little bit wider each time. And the next time you come over to the left, let that leg go all the way down. As close to the floor as is available to you. And then just pull the toes up towards your shoulder. Get a little more stretch. Keep the strap really tight. Swing your leg up. Turn your toes out and come down again. Toes leading the way. A little different stretch. You feel it in a different place on your leg, different muscles. Come on up. Take both hands on the strap. Pull that leg in closer. And then take the strap in just your right hand and let that leg fall across your body to the right. Keep this shoulder on the ground. Your hip comes up. Pull the strap a little bit tighter. You're really getting a stretch for the outer thigh. And swing your leg back up. Take hold of the strap. One more time. Pull your leg in. Great, great stretch for the hamstrings and the calf muscles. So when you stretch your muscles, little fibers in there get stronger. Bend your knee, put your strap aside, take your hand onto your right knee, make some circles. And then lift both legs up, point your toes. Really stretch out the top of your feet. And then flex. And point. And flex. And point. Now make a Shiva foot. You're going to push the ball of your foot up toward the ceiling. Like being on tippy toes with the ball of your foot on the ceiling, your heels lifted, your feet have the shape kind of like you were wearing high heels. And then release that and just circle your ankles, then turn your toes in and out, in and out. Notice what's happening in your hips as you do this. Circle. Bend your knees, hug your knees in, roll around on your lower back. And then just drop your knees over to one side and make your way up to a seated position. Just sit nice and centered, sit nice and tall. Let your sitting bones sink down into the earth like roots. Let your spine be like the stem of a flower reaching up, nice and straight but flexible. The top of your head reaching for the sunshine. Your heart open. Heart open to all the choices and decisions that you make today. And then as you get ready for your day, take a big breath. Lift your arms. Bring your hands to prayer. And remember, we cannot change or control things that happen, but we can always control how we react to them, how we respond. So let that be our intention for today. To respond in a positive way, to find the things in our day, in our lives that bring us joy. Bow your head to your heart. Namaste. Have a great day. So, next week we will do balance. And I just want to remind you, there are 5 videos now, 2 that are old, a couple of years old, and then we have the one on chair yoga, we have the one on abs, and we have this one on legs. So those are all available to you on YouTube. Just search under Yoga Bobbe, B-O-B-B-E. And the first 2, which were made a couple of years ago, are short practices, I think about 35 or 40 minutes, that work all the muscles and all the joints in your body. Again, have a great day.